Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young on this very, very mild February 13th. Boy, I got to tell you, this weather is incredible. And the days are getting longer, too. I don't know if you've noticed that, but it's about 5:20 in the afternoon, and the sun's still out. I mean, this is, I like this better than a 70-degree spring day. Do I talk much? Okay. And, of course, as usual, we are heating things up tonight with another amazing guest, another very comedic young lady. This is Tricia Auld.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being in. She's going to talk about her wonderful career, some of the people that she's performed with, such as, the amazing Christine Hurley, Lenny Clark. I just found out that she's performed with those two. And David Russo, who was a guest on my show last year. She may tell a joke or two, and we may even get to see some of her material after the show has been edited, so get psyched. But in the meantime, Tricia, thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you here. All right. All right. You're a stand-up comedian. You're very at ease and confident, and you've been doing this for a while. Well, how long have you been doing this for?
I've been doing stand-up for 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And in 5 years, and you told me your age, and I'm not going to mention it. If you want to, you certainly can. I certainly am
I'm a proud 33-year-old
woman. Okay,
woman.
you mentioned it. You said it, not me. So
my parents didn't think I would make it this far, but I'm still here.
I didn't think I'd make it this far either. But I got 25 years on you. So what prompted you to start doing stand-up when you were at the ripe old age of 28?
Well, I was really funny.
How'd you find that out?
I kind of noticed when I would make
people
people
laughing
laugh.
at you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was
Were they laughing at you or with you?
It was always a very conscious choice. Like I was consciously trying to make people laugh, and then they were giving me the reaction I was looking for.
Okay. Well, how so? Did you use gags like whoopee cushions and French ticklers, or did you actually just say silly things? Or
no, it was much more situational.
Okay.
Situational humor. I was on a lot of soccer teams growing up, and I was always trying to.
You look quite athletic, I might say. I must say. Okay, go on.
Not so much anymore, but yeah, I was always trying to just make my team laugh in stressful situations, or make I'm from a big family. I have 4 sisters.
Okay, wow. Any brothers?
No brothers.
That would have been even more stressful.
Yeah.
Think about it. But go on.
I had 4 sisters growing up, so a lot of times.
Where were you in the age range in that?
I was in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just like Jan Brady.
Very much a middle child.
Okay.
I have the syndrome. I require a lot of attention now.
Of course.
But yeah, I was always trying to make my sisters laugh in stressful situations, or my parents laugh when things were not going, great.
I understand.
Home.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And it worked.
And it worked.
So my thinking is, based on what you're telling me, it's one thing to make people laugh when things are going okay, but when you can do it when things are not going okay, then you know you got something. Then you said, hey, you know something? I'm not just comedic. I'm hilarious.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get paid for this. Is that right? Is that what you were thinking?
Yeah, that was kind of what I was thinking. And also, growing up in a huge family, it always made me feel really good to be able to provide some sort of like relief.
Well, I'm just as I'm sitting here and I think through situations when I'm talking to my guests and I read them, and here you're telling me. I mean, personally speaking for myself, growing up in I had enough trouble being one of 2 brothers, and I hate it. I mean, my brother's a great guy now, but growing up, I was the oldest of 2, and I did not care for him at times.
Yeah.
But so the idea of being in a big family would have absolutely floored me. And yeah, you're telling me you got along really well with your family, which is great.
Yeah.
Which is huge because now. I mean, you obviously, you were not dysfunctional. I was totally dysfunctional. And a lot of people...
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, all right. Well, we're going to elaborate on that.
We had dysfunctional moments.
Oh, we all have dysfunctional moments, but I'm talking about nearly committed twice dysfunctional like me.
Yeah.
But you weren't, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so that's good. I guess because sometimes I think people play off dysfunctional and it helps them. In your case, it was the opposite. It was you didn't need... I mean, we all have our dysfunctional moments, but you didn't jibe with the norm. You made it happen normally or as normally as could be, and you interacted well with everybody, and instead made them laugh as well.
Yeah.
So it took a lot of the heat off of you, which is great.
Yeah.
Okay. So finally, at 28, did you go to school for anything? Anything in terms of entertainment? Where did you play soccer at college or?
Yeah, I went to UMass Lowell.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've been there.
I was a River Hawk at UMass Lowell.
Love the name. Okay.
I went to school for criminal justice because I didn't really know what I wanted to do.
I understand.
And my father is a Waltham cop. He's been a detective.
Still? Now?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's retiring this coming March. So.
Okay. How many years?
35 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he was there 2 years before you came along.
Yep.
Jeez. So like 1982 or 83.
Yep.
Amazing.
He's had a really impressive career. And I went to school
Well, if he's a cop and he's alive, that's very impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
True, yeah.
So I went to school for criminal justice, but I got out and I just didn't really feel like I wanted to be a cop. I didn't really want to pursue that
I understand.
at all. So I had a lot of different jobs. I had a lot of odd jobs. I had a lot of waitressing jobs.
You look like you could be a waitress.
Yeah. And all of those.
Hooters anywhere? I have to throw that in.
Hey.
I'm just kidding.
Great wings, honestly. Actually, last Valentine's Day, I spent my Valentine's Day at Hooters.
Cool.
So I recommend
I'm a vegan.
it.
I don't eat wings, but I understand.
Any of the other ladies out there who are single, it's a lot of fun to grab your girlfriends and go to Hooters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or grab your Hooters and go to Hooters, right? I don't know. Whatever. I couldn't help that one either, but yeah.
Yeah.
Go grab your Hooters and they get a girlfriend that way. I don't know. That's not cool, but I just figured I'd throw that in because I'm sitting here with somebody that can be outrageous at times. I can tell, and why not join in the soiree, as I say?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So
I just wondered, did you ever do a whole bit on going to Hooters, in the comedy stand-up realm at all?
I haven't. I mean,
Just an idea for thought. You might want to sometime.
I do a lot of social media content, so there was some social media type stuff around.
Okay.
The crew going to Hooters. It was definitely,
What do you mean by the crew? Who's the crew? Your friends?
Me and my girlfriend.
Oh, I understand. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, it was just like a funny thing to do.
Of course.
On a day where you're supposed to spend it with someone special.
Oh, I see.
So we didn't really have someone special.
We had a lot of people that were special at Hooters. Everybody's special there.
True.
True that. Yeah.
True.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did a lot of waitressing, but then I realized that I was doing a lot of selling myself at tables and also like
making your customers laugh.
Making my customers
there you
laugh.
Go. And not at Hooters. You didn't work at Hooters.
I didn't.
You never did.
No.
Okay, let's get that squared away. Good.
No, I actually worked at a fine dining restaurant called the Stockyard. It's been around forever.
I've heard of it. Yeah. Where is it?
It's in Brighton.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I was fired.
Good for you.
Full disclosure.
Cool. Okay.
Yes, it didn't work out there as a waitress. I was trying to hone
were you stealing silverware? Is that
I was trying to hone in on my comedy skills a little too much.
Oh, yeah, like we're doing here. Okay,
yeah,
no problem. I understand.
But it really, at that point, really kind of pushed me to actually pursue stand-up really more seriously.
Well, I always say everything happens for a reason. I say that just about every show.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was at that point. I'm guessing this was like 5 years ago, if the timeline.
Yep.
Okay. So did you do like an open mic or two somewhere?
Yeah, the first time I actually got on stage, I went and applied. I found this random competition on Craigslist.
Okay.
It was just for people and artists who were in music and comedy.
Sure. Wow.
So I got on stage, and the person running it, I don't think really knew how to set up a competition like this because they gave me 20 minutes.
Wow.
On stage to start.
What's wrong with that's not bad.
It's a lot of time.
It is a lot of time
for a new comic.
For someone new,
for someone who's literally just starting out.
But how did you killed it, didn't you?
Well, I had a lot of family and friends in the audience the first time I did stand up.
You were probably nervous, but at the same time you were probably inspired as well.
Yeah, I got off stage and one of my sisters was like, Tricia, I've never seen you more comfortable or more yourself.
Just like here. Yeah, there you go.
Stage, yeah.
Okay.
So that was really inspiring, as you said, and it was motivating too to kind of get into the scene and dig in a little bit more. And at that point, I started to go to more open mics and
No, where was this first location? This setup from Craigslist, Boston?
It was at Lansdowne Pub in Boston.
Okay,
Yeah.
Lansdowne Pub, right next to Fenway Park.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. That's incredible.
They have a lot of great live
Probably had a
music
lot
there.
of drunk. Was it during the summer, during the baseball season? I'm just wondering if there were any
I
Red
can't
Sox
remember.
fans coming out of a game afterwards. I assume it was late at night, right?
Yeah, it was an evening show.
Yeah, right. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. You don't remember, I'm just saying. Do you remember what time of year it was?
It definitely wasn't Red Sox season.
It wasn't
no.
Red Sox
Yeah.
season. Okay, that's
That bar
fine.
gets packed
Right.
during Red Sox, so I don't know if they'd be able to have that type of show there.
Okay.
That type of comedy show and like keep the drunk people.
Oh, I see.
listening.
Right, I understand. Just
Yeah.
I understand. So it probably worked out just as well because
Yeah.
at least these weren't rowdy fans. These were just people that wanted to have a laugh out at
Yeah.
night. I understand. Okay. Wow. So all right. So where have you performed since then?
So I perform a lot at Laugh Boston,
Okay.
Nick's Comedy Stop,
Right.
CBS Scene. I've performed at the Comedy Studio.
Giggles too, right?
I performed at Giggles
In August?
one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I get more hype on Facebook about Giggles than any other.
Yeah,
any other
it's an
establishment.
amazing club. Yeah.
Right. And it looks like it's got some nice food too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that Prince sign and I think, oh, I'm getting a hankering for some pasta, baby. Right. I mean, but I don't know. Well, how is Prince and Giggles? Are they affiliated or something? I'm just wondering.
I'm not positive.
I'm not either.
I'm not sure.
I'm negative. Okay, but that's fine. So you performed at Nick's Comedy Stop. That's huge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as far as like media coverage, you got a great write up, and talk about that.
Sure.
We can share that as well. I know you don't have it with you, but I just saw it and it looked amazing. You
Yeah.
made the cover of, was it Dig Boston?
Yeah, I was on the cover of Dig Boston.
And I talk about Dig Boston. What is that?
It's a free publication that kind of promotes. It talks about they have writers who talk about politics, but it also promotes a lot of arts in Boston.
Okay.
So music, comedy, things going on that are entertainment based that people can go to.
Sure.
And I was on the cover about 2.5 years into starting to do stand-up. So
Wow.
it was really early in my career to kind of get something that honorable or that big.
Sure.
So there was a little bit of a stir in the scene about me being on the cover.
What do you mean a stir? What scene? Stir of what scene?
It was just there were a lot of people that were questioning why I was selected to be on the cover. But it was
You
an
got two middle
amazing-
fingers. You know how to use them? Just kidding.
I do.
Well, that doesn't matter. You
But
know
it was
what?
a
They were
growing
jealous.
experience.
They were jealous.
No, it was genuinely a great.
You earned it. You should be darn proud of that.
I was very proud
And you
of
should
it.
still be proud of that.
I am still proud of it.
And you know what? It's good. And after between that and tonight's show with me, you're gonna be elevated to
Stardom.
Pinnacles that you never would have imagined. Exactly.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, of course.
I'm ready for this big break.
You're having it, and me too. That is so cool.
Yeah, it was.
So this includes your picture and a big article about you, right?
Yep.
But you're not the only one that's made the cover of this, right? I mean, who else has made it? Anyone I might have heard of?
Yeah, Lamont Price
Okay, go
is
on.
a comedian
Sure.
in Boston, and
Yep.
he was also on the cover. Other than Lamont, I don't know specific comedians in Boston
I
that were on
understand,
it.
okay.
But they have a lot of musicians on it as well.
Okay. Have you ever performed speaking of musicians, now have you ever done anything in entertainment besides comedy? Have you done music at all? Have you done dancing, anything? I asked you before if you've ever been in a film and you said no. Have you ever done any play acting or anything as a kid?
Haven't, no.
You
but
haven't, okay.
I did write a blog for a while before I actually started to do stand-up comedy.
Okay.
So that kind of helped me develop
Where did the
storylines
blog
and
show up?
It was called Never Been More Single.
Okay. That's always a funny blog to
Thank you.
add. Okay, sure.
Yes, I bought the URL.
Oh,
so I
cool.
still own it.
There you go.
The content is still on it, but I haven't been writing on it.
You've probably been too busy with your comedy, going out and doing stuff.
Yeah.
Right, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so what do you got going tomorrow? Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. There's all kinds of gigs going on, especially in the stand-up comedy world, so I see.
Yes.
And you got a huge gig coming up.
Yes,
Well, talk about that, if you would.
My gig is the only one that matters on Valentine's Day.
Of course it is. That's why you're talking about it.
It's tomorrow on Wednesday,
Yep.
the 14th.
February 14th, yep.
And
on
it's at
Valentine's
Laugh
Day.
Boston, so it's a great venue.
You want to give speaking of the venue, what's the address of the venue?
It's on Summer Street in
It's kind of like
Seaport.
near the financial district. I know that area.
Yeah,
I think
it's in
so.
the
Yeah.
Seaport in Boston.
Okay.
And it's a showcase of some of the best comedians in Boston.
Right.
Will Noonan, Chris Tabb, Nick Chambers, Hasmeen Garza, Dan Bulger, and myself.
And you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really excited.
Did
And
you just find out like recently that you've been, you were appointed to be in this tandem?
no, I mean, I
Because I just noticed that you posted it on Facebook within the last week.
Yeah, it was actually like 2 or 3 weeks ago I was asked to be on the show.
Wow.
And then when I saw the lineup, I was like, wow, I'm so grateful to get to work with
These great talents. Wow.
Yeah.
And I noticed too that, the great thing about I've noticed stand-up comedians, there doesn't seem to be any really harsh rivalries between the stand-up comics. I mean, it seems like you all get along well and you all support each other. I've never heard any negative hate speech from one stand-up comedy about another one. It's always like, I support you, you support me. We're in like a sorority, a fraternity, if it's sorority, fraternity, yeah. I mean, it's all one big, camaraderie basically. I mean, I assume there's probably some rivalry, but it seems like it's the most unified group of entertainers there are in the United States today as the stand-up comedians. I mean, what do you think about that?
I think that it's really competitive. It's a very competitive field.
It is, but not on the surface. I mean, probably underneath. If there's any I've never seen any backstabbing between stand-up comedians. Now, you may know differently. I don't know, but all I'm saying is based on my experience has been from what I've seen. I'm on the outside looking in, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But I am but it looks like everybody supports each other in the industry. But I mean, I suppose that's obviously probably not as true as you would think it would be, or as I would think it would be.
Right. Yeah, you definitely find people that you like, you respect, and
Right.
you build genuine personal and professional relationships with them.
Exactly.
And those are the people that you take care of and
Yep.
you
Okay. Yeah.
look out for. But I think overall, it's not.
I mean, it's like, yeah. I mean, it's a game. It is competitive, like everything else. Yeah, I understand. Okay, that's good. But I think the comedians do a good job of covering the ugly side of it, if there is one.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just like any other field. You grow your professional relationships and you look out for those people and you offer them opportunities if they present themselves, and you want to help other people grow and learn and get better.
Yeah.
But overall, it's more.
It's still a me.
like
It's still a me thing. Yeah, I understand.
Absolutely.
But it's nice that you can meet up with 7 different people and do your own bits tomorrow and get all the press that you're going to get and all the attention.
Absolutely.
And it must feel so good when you're up on stage and you say something and you hear the audience cracking up. That's got to be the best feeling.
It is the best feeling. It's definitely like a high that you feel
Sure
after
it
a
is.
show.
Yep.
If you do really well, you feel really good, and if you do really poorly or bomb, it takes a little while to get back.
I understand.
Your confidence.
Have you ever? Now you told me this was your first TV talk show. Have you ever done any stand-up on a TV show? It's not in addition, independent of a talk show. I'm just wondering, like.
Yeah, I have.
All right, we'll talk about that. What shows was it?
It was a small
Cable show.
In Somerville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
It was called Crazy Heavy Metal Topless Dance Show or something.
All right.
Yeah.
No, okay, but I'm just okay. Have you ever performed at like say Mohican Sun or Foxwoods?
Yeah, I
have. You
have.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you've had some pretty big venues.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's always exciting. Doing different venues is exciting because you walk in and it's a different energy you feel.
Sure.
You aren't really acclimated to the room because you've never performed there, so it almost feels like you're doing stand-up for the first time.
Yeah, I'm sure.
For me at least.
Yeah.
You're not really sure what the crowd's going to be like.
That's got to be the same at every show you've done, though. But I assume that when you travel out of state, sometimes I get. I mean, based on from what I've seen about stand-up comedians around the Boston area. There's a certain theme about being from Boston that they go with, just like where any parts of the country you're in. If you're Chicago, or if you're in L.A., people have their own like regionalisms that they describe. But when you travel to a different state, it's like people don't get that. Like the down home stuff that they get that you do here, that they might hear. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you're addressing people saying Brighton is going to be different than addressing people saying Ledyard, Connecticut, because
Yeah.
people in Ledyard, Connecticut live in the sticks and they don't know about park your car in Harvard Yard or whatever and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Is that true? Do you find?
I talk about what I know about.
Right.
So
and,
I talk
okay.
a
And it works.
lot about,
It works no matter where you go. Well,
I
so it
don't-
has so far.
I don't really talk about. I don't talk too much about Boston. I talk
Oh, okay, good.
a lot about my family. I talk
Right.
about growing up in a big family. I talk a lot about dating because that's
Okay,
you know,
that's-
something that I've been having a lot of experience with.
Sure. Good.
I talk a lot about failed relationships and
Okay.
kind of feeling like making kind of fun of feeling like you're broken a little bit.
Yeah,
not
like the
being
guy at the wedding you get the guy that you're dating. You're going, well, this was your bit that you did yesterday about the guys, whoever it is, got to be poor because the wedding is, you don't know where the wedding is, and looks like it's a really bad gig or whatever. So he's got to be poor.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. Yeah, it's not a rich person's wedding.
Right.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
All right. So you throw in these little sidebars about things that you know, and that's good. I mean, you don't need to. Yeah, I mean, you're your own unique person when you go up there. You're not doing, you're not copying anybody. You're just doing Tricia Auld only.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's probably the best way to go. And I'm sure your family's
The only way I know how.
and your family and friends are okay with that. Have you never
Yeah.
said anything? They're okay with being used in.
Yeah.
Some of the things that people say about their families, I can't help but think, boy, if their parents knew that, would they really want to hear this? I mean, but I guess that's not the case with you, which is good.
I think my parents have been really supportive
Of course.
of the comedy dream, so they're able to sit.
Like for instance, you wouldn't get up and say, well, my father almost got shot trying to stop a robbery the other day on Moody Street in Waltham, and then and have people crack up. We wouldn't do that, right? I mean, you have to draw the line somewhere. Even if
Yeah.
that ever happened, I'm not saying it did, but let's just say, for instance, I mean, he was a cop. Obviously, you must mention that in some of your in your material.
I do.
Okay.
I'm more self-deprecating.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
I understand.
So I would draw him being a cop back to making fun of myself.
You're making fun of yourself. That's
rather
good. You're
than
able
making fun of him
something
being a
serious
cop.
that might happen, right? I understand. Okay, and
Yeah.
you're not too blunt. I mean, you sort of you don't. I mean, it's pretty fluffy. You don't really say blunt things about your situations every now and then. But I mean, you're not a shocker. Is that right, or are you?
You know what? You will have to be the judge,
have to be
I
the
guess.
judge,
I'm
yeah.
not really shocked by a lot of my material. I think it's relevant.
That's because it's your material. But if you feel that some of the audience has been over the years shocked by some of the things you've said, I mean, you can usually read read people.
I think older generations might not understand some of the topical like Tinder jokes or Uber
Oh, of
type
course.
stuff.
There you go.
That's relevant to my generation.
Right.
But again, I just talk about what I know in my life, and
Okay.
a lot of people I think can identify through my experiences.
Exactly. Okay.
And that's kind of
You interact through with
Yeah.
others. Okay, that's cool. And I assume that the people that you're seeing tomorrow night, and now you've worked with all of them. Is this your first time for any
I've
of them?
worked with all of them.
You
and
have,
they're
okay.
all super talented.
That's great. Okay.
I would go to any one of their shows, and I have.
You have.
I spent a lot of time in clubs watching other comics perform, and there's so much good comedy in Boston. There's so much good free live comedy in Boston.
Right. Okay.
There are so many. I feel like there are so many shows that people don't even know that they could be taking dates to, or
Okay.
and it's free. You know,
It is.
You get
How's
to
it
see
free?
some of the best comics in Boston.
Well,
for
wait a
free.
minute. How's it free? They don't charge people walking in the door. There's no cover charge.
No,
Really?
not always. I mean, some
Oh.
of the shows, like shows that laugh, obviously you're getting national headliners and some of the best in Boston, but the comics that are in Boston and working full-time in comedy still need to hone on their craft. So they're just looking for great rooms to do comedy in that have an audience.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I run a show at Club Cafe.
Yep.
It's the first Thursday of every single month. And
Boston,
it's-
right?
Yep, in Boston. It's in South End
Okay.
area. And it's at 7 p.m. and it's free.
Cool.
And some of the best comedians in Boston are working on their stuff for bigger shows at my smaller show.
That's pretty good. And you run it. So I mean,
Yeah.
how did you get to run it?
I worked for it.
Okay, you worked your way up to running it.
I
Yeah.
met with the owner, and I've built trust with him at this point. So
Cool.
he lets me do shows on Friday and Saturdays now too.
Okay.
But yeah, mostly I do the Thursday night room. I was actually at a free show last night
Okay.
at Capo Restaurant in South Boston.
Okay.
And a great comic, Will Noonan, runs that.
Right.
And
You
that's
mentioned him. He's
another
going to be
free
with you
room.
tomorrow, right? And that,
Yeah.
and that gig
Yeah.
you're doing. Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. So there's a ton of opportunities to see both free live comedy, or go to a show like Nick's Comedy Stop or
Yeah.
Laugh Boston, CBS Scene.
I think that's where Jay Leno got his start too, at Nick's.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I
that's
know
where,
he did.
That's where
Yeah.
Bill Burr got his start as
From
well.
Andover, right? Yeah. Wow.
Bill Burr was actually just recently there. He just dropped in and did a set, and it was amazing to watch him work.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, guess what? We're down to the last few minutes of the show.
Wow.
I hope you know.
Flew by.
We blew by. So what I want you to do, and what we're gonna for the next several minutes, I want you to give shouts out to the people that are going to see the show, because a lot of people are going to see it. So talk, if you want to say hi to your family or the and hopefully you'll have a good time. Go for it.
Hi, Mom and Dad. My father, again, is retiring in March, so shout out to Jimmy Auld, who's been a detective in Waltham
Muzzle
for
tough.
35
Sergeant
years.
Jimmy Auld.
Yes.
There you go. Sergeant, is
he's
he?
not a sergeant. He's a detective.
Detective. I didn't know
Yes.
that. I thought that. Okay, Detective Auld.
My mom,
Congratulations.
who's a kindergarten teacher in Waltham as well,
Cool.
Debbie and Jimmy Auld, just celebrated 40 years together.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
My sisters, Laura, Liz, Julie, Abby.
Okay, cool.
Shout out to them. And shout out to all the comics that I'm performing with tomorrow. We're going to have an awesome show, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, and if you had a good time, I hope you tell them about my show, because I'd love to get them on.
I will be happy to.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Plug it on Facebook and do all that stuff. Just real quick, have you performed like in faraway venues, New York, LA, or anywhere else, or just Boston and Connecticut?
No, I've really been working mostly in Boston.
Okay.
And before I kind of make that jump, I want to make sure that I
You're
can
established
back it
more
up.
here.
Yeah.
I understand. And then eventually you think that's what the future looks like for you. Eventually, you think you'll migrate more west and south and all those places, and eventually maybe travel around the country doing your stand-up.
That would be amazing. That is part of the goal.
That's part of the
Yeah.
goal. Okay. Well,
I really just want to have a career in entertainment.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be in stand-up. I love stand-up, but
Well, just real quick, what else would you want it to be in if it's not stand-up? Maybe acting yourself? Maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
possibly.
Well, now, like I said, you'll be on IMDb because of being on Topic Time.
awesome.
So you'll have that credit, that you can pop on your resume.
Credit.
Credit, yeah. So on that note, are you ready to rock and roll with my
Yeah.
baby here? Well,
Absolutely.
Tricia Auld,
Thanks
you
so
were an
much.
awesome guest tonight.
Nice
and
to meet you.
Folks, I hope you enjoyed the mid-February edition of Top Time. Happy Valentine's Day. Watch her.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Watch her perform, because she's going to be everywhere. And on that note, we are going to wrap it up. See you next time. Here we go. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.
This is fun.